welcome to this edition of Royal Scribe News. My name is Abby Whitaker, and joining me today are Lexi Ben-Scoter and Blake West, and they will be talking to me about their recent trip to Israel through the week of E. So, Blake, why don't you start off by telling us where exactly you went in Israel and who all you went with and why the group went?
So I first heard about the group in an email and didn't really know if I wanted to go, but talking with some of my friends, some of the professors that were going, we decided to go. And so it was us, students from Johnson, Florida, students from the master's program and online. We all went over to Israel. We spent a majority of our time up in northern Israel around the Sea of Galilee, and then we got to go south through Jericho and Palestine by the Dead Sea and into Jerusalem and Bethlehem for the last half the trip.
Okay, and very cool. And Lexi, why don't you tell us if there was a specific reason why this group felt called to go to Israel?
It was more so a pilgrimage, understand more of where Jesus came from, what it actually means to be in the Holy Lands, understand the jobs he was doing, and just the life he lived, really.
And speaking of where Jesus came from, Blake, walk us through, you were in the place where Jesus once walked. How does that impact your faith with God or your walk with Christ?
It was really surreal, honestly, to be in some of the places like Capernaum where Jesus healed the man who was lowered down through the roof by his friends, and like be at that exact spot was just crazy. Or in Jerusalem where so many things happened. It was really just impactful in the way that, like Lexi said, it was like a pilgrimage. And so going where Christians have been going for centuries to worship Jesus, at the place where he lived, was a really cool experience that really connected us to the global church at large.
And Lexi, how about you?
Like Blake said, it's a really surreal experience, but for me personally, it brought the humanity of Jesus to life for me. But just understanding and seeing exactly where he was and how he grew up, a lot of times we focus on the divinity aspects and like how he did heal people. That's incredible. But for me, understanding his humanity was a big impact.
And in light of where you were, what would you say was your favorite site throughout the whole trip?
I would have to say the initial spot we went, which is Caesarea, and while there we were able to tour Herod's palace, one of them. But initially we were there in a giant arena where it's in Acts, and Peter comes to Caesarea from Jaffa, and he's initially bringing the Jewish and the Gentile cultures together, which our tour guide, Mark Zees, highlighted how that is the foundation for our Christian faith and what allows us to be here today. So that was pretty jaw-dropping.
And for you, Blake?
One of the more impactful sites for me was the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. It's the site that is built around the spot where Jesus was crucified and then buried and resurrected. And there's a whole blend of Christianity from all over the world. It's just celebrating and just providing a place to worship at that exact place was really cool and a really just profound experience.
And did you have any certain expectations going into Israel, and were they matched or were they not matched?
One of the expectations that I had was that it was going to be just like it was, 2,000 years ago. Obviously, it was not like that at all. There were people who were living in the city, and it was almost 1 million people in Jerusalem itself. And just so, I think the expectation that really was blown out of the water for me was just the people who were there and the conversations we were able to have, and learning how in this ancient city people are continuing to live today.
And Lexi, for you?
For myself, I went into the trip expecting to be overcome with a lot of emotion and like responses to the huge, massive places that we went to, and that actually wasn't the case. I received those emotions later on in the trip, but while there, it's very different. You expect to be hit in the face with a lot of Jesus emotion, and you just don't always get that. So,
and without getting too theological, what would you say you took away from this trip?
From the trip, I think I understand more of the depth and the intricacy that goes into our biblical readings and the writings. It comes to life for me now. It's kind of like a picture book. Like I see where I walked, and when I read where Jesus walked, it kind of merges together, and I'm in the story with him now. So
that is very cool. And how about Blake, for you?
Totally agree. Being able to picture the places and have a deeper understanding of the culture and everything that was going on throughout these stories in the Bible that we read is incredible. But one of the things for me was, so like Lexi said, it was like a pilgrimage. And so while we were at these sites, we were able to worship in a bunch of different ways. And for me, it was really eye-opening to just see, whether it's Greek Orthodox or Roman Catholic or Armenian churches or evangelical branches of Christianity, we all are worshiping Jesus when we just do it in different ways. So like just expanding my definition and the way I worship personally was probably one of the biggest things I got out of the trip.
Very cool. And one last question, guys. Will you guys go back?
Of course.
Yeah.
And thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm Abby Whitaker. Thank you for watching The Royal Scribe.